Massive news out of the Holy Land as Palestinian Authority Chairman Mahmoud Abbas ordered the PA to end its notorious pay to slay program. But is this move genuine reformation or smoke and mirrors? CBN's Chris Mitchell is in Jerusalem to tell us more. Shalom, Chris.
Shalom, Raj. How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. All right, so tell us exactly what Mahmoud Abbas is doing, and is this thing legitimate or just a facade?
Right now, Raj, as far as I can see it, it sounds more like a facade. It's cosmetic and a bit of a shell game. I called when I heard the news and read the Jerusalem Post article. Called one of the experts, I believe, about the Palestinian Authority for many, many years. His name is Itamar Marcus. He's with the Palestinian Media Watch. You go to palwatch.org. They monitor the Palestinian media daily, and they looked into this statement by the PA. It's on their official website, which is called WAFA, and they found that basically what they're doing is they're stopping these quote unquote pay to slay payments from one account and switching it to another. And they're saying that all the people that were paid in these former accounts will continue to get paid, but it won't be determined pay to slay, won't be designated necessarily families of these terrorists, or families of terrorists who have committed murder, committed terror attacks. So right now it seems promising in some of these headlines we're seeing, but I think behind the scenes, it really doesn't change anything on the ground.
I think for a lot of folks, people don't really understand exactly what pay to slay is. And you mentioned Palestinian Media Watch. I'm going to read this because it's almost hard to believe. This is on their website. Of the 734 terrorists being released by Israel in exchange for the Israeli hostages, have been receiving monthly salaries from the Palestinian Authority since their arrest. 316 terrorists left prison as millionaires. In total, they have received at least 500 million shekels. That it's almost hard to fathom that, Chris. How could this be allowed to have happened?
Well, it's probably millionaires in shekels as opposed to US dollars, but still an amazing amount of money. How can it happen? Because for decades, actually, the Palestinian Authority has rewarded those men or women who have committed terror attacks. And so when they get arrested, they go into Israeli prisoners. They and their families get a stipend. And the stipend is based actually on the severity of the terror attack. In other words, if they're have a life sentence or multiple life sentences, they actually on the pay scale get more money. So that's how some of these prisoners, and which is very, very distressful for many Israelis during this hostage ceasefire deal, when these Palestinian prisoners are released that have blood on their hands, they are the quote unquote being released, having millions of shekels in their bank account. So that's something that the U.S. has tried to prevent. There's something called the Taylor Force Act, and that act is actually passed by Congress in the name of a man named Taylor Force, an American military who was in Israel at the time, down in Tel Aviv, killed in a terror attack. So the whole act and legislation was designed to make sure that the Palestinian Authority, who is often subsidized by the U.S., would not have any of that money going to terrorists. But it's been circumvented by the Palestinian Authority for years, and that's why you see these kind of amazing statistics where over 700 Palestinian prisoners have millions and millions of shekels.
And I think there are some people on the outside who say, wait, that can't be true. That's some pro-Israel propaganda. But it's extremely, not a secret that this is a legit thing, that people received payments for killing people, for making these crimes. I think it's just hard for people to realize that this is a very real thing that is happening. So you don't think that this move by Abu Mazen, Mahmoud Abbas, is going to really change anything?
Not on the ground. No, it looks like I quoted Itamar Marcus. It's really cosmetic. He was telling me, actually, this is something that Mahmoud Abbas can't stop doing. If he stops the payments to these families and these terrorists, there would be a revolution within Palestinian society against this. The Palestinian Authority does not have the support of the majority of the Palestinian people in the so-called West Bank, Judea and Samaria, and they actually Hamas has more support than them. So this is
Hmm.
something he has to do to placate as the Palestinian people.
Well, Chris, I know it's much later in Israel than it is here in California, so I know you're a busy man. I don't want to take too much of your time, but there are reports that this hostage deal
Yeah.
um, is about to collapse. That Hamas is delaying things. That this whole thing might come down and kind of end here. What are you hearing? Do you think this whole thing is about to come crashing down?
It feels like that, Raj, and Hamas is saying that they're going to not support, and they're not going to release any more terrorists this coming Saturday. That the deal may be off. They're accusing Israel of violating the ceasefire deal by firing on people in the north, by not allowing enough humanitarian aid to come in. So right now, there's a crisis going on. The Security Cabinet will be meeting in the morning. Israeli Defense Minister Yaakov Katz is saying that the IDF is going to be at its highest alert inside Gaza. There's talk of maybe reservists being called up and actually a major assault into Gaza. So within the next 24, 48 hours, we could see major developments here. Why people should be praying for the peace of Jerusalem, for the
Mm.
wisdom for Israeli leaders and for all of Israelis, especially those who are suffering, the families of hostages that may be losing hope that they may ever see their loved ones alive again.
Well, I don't want to ask you to try to predict the future, but do you think, lastly, that the Trump effect will have any impact on this? That there will be some sort of pushing through to make this happen, or do you think that, again, obviously looking into the future, that this might just be the end and we'll go back to square one?
Well, the Trump is having a huge impact here, and his desire to relocate most of the people in Gaza and then rebuild Gaza is having, and I think that's having an impact on the hostage deal as well. I think going back to square one, I think we're just going to progress from here in the dynamics that the Trump administration has set up with his announcement. I think Hamas is going to be resistant. They see that, I think, as the end of their group. So I think they're going to resist that with all their might. And I think that could be one of the factors why they are saying they want to don't release any more hostages and an end to the deal. But we'll see what happens in the next 24, 48 hours. And things could change dramatically, Raj, just in that amount of time. And again, why so many people should be praying.
Well, your insight is invaluable, Chris. Thank you so much for coming on, and God bless, my friend.
Okay, Raj, great to be with you.